What is up, Queen? All right, since the Queen is here, we can get started. It's official. How's everybody doing today? The big moment is finally here, where a whole few of us from the faction are going to try to hit this sucker together and see if we can't get the Chase Wrestler. So this is fun. I'm excited to see how this pans out for everyone. I hope we have lots of success. I do, I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. Don't necessarily expect to nail this sucker and get it all right the first time. It's kind of a learning process if you never really have gone. What's up, Chase? It's kind of a learning process if you've never gone through it. So as someone who's gone through lots and lots and lots of these, I'm gonna try to share some of the stuff I've learned along the way. I'm sure I don't do it perfectly, but I have never failed to get the Chase character if I actually tried to go after them. So yeah. So hopefully the advice that I give will be helpful. So anyway, I know I'm not exactly picking the best time in the world to probably do this. There's probably people at work and stuff, and so we can't really have like a Q&A or anything like that. And yes, you are here. Hi. So, maybe if people have questions, maybe we can do something a bit later in the afternoon just for people to just get on and maybe we can have a little back and forth. But anyway, I'll go ahead and get started. So the big one is the Zombies Unleashed solo contest. That's what it's all about. And your goal is to get to milestone 50. I know it says milestone 51, but milestone 50 and 51 have the same point target. So, it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Whoa, you hopping on two different platforms at the same time, Jason? Is that what's happening here? You like doubling up, hear it in stereo. Anyway, yeah. So here we go. This is what it's all about. This is where you'll claim Drew McIntyre coleslaw. So I'll go ahead and take care of that now. And that's it. Contest over. Congratulations, everybody. We've done it. Okay, maybe not. Uh-oh. Sorry, sporty girl. All right, so there he is. So that's the beginning of everything. So we got that done and out of the way. So here's the big prize. Scroll down, right? So 500,000 solo contest points. There's some of the stuff you get there, and then here's the big prize. The big prize is this trophy of this hand. Okay, maybe people aren't that interested in that. But over here is the Almighty. Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom. So I have not watched any of the content contributor videos on it or anything like that, but I've been hearing people say that he's pretty fierce at those higher levels with some pretty intense protect gems and whatnot. But they're almost always pretty damn good when they're a Chase character, and even if they're not who your favorite is for whatever class they happen to be in, there will be other contests in the future that will want you to use them as well. And so having them to be able to actually participate and get in the and be able to get the contest bonuses in particular events that want the Chase characters, that will come in handy. You also get to do the victory tour at the end, which to me used to be no big deal. But right now, the victory tours have the emerald tokens in them, so that actually makes them worth doing. Sometimes in the past, I used to just not even bother with doing the victory tours because there just was nothing in there that interested me, and I'm someone who likes to have some free time to do some other stuff too, so I would skip those. But now that there's emerald tokens in there, I'm all about doing those. So, one of the primary ways you're going to get towards this goal is going to be, where we go, where is it? All right, Drew McIntyre's Talent Up competition, right? So you're going to work on Drew McIntyre throughout the month. And typically you can max this out in the past, usually by getting them to 4-star gold. And when they're at 4-star gold, by maxing their moves and a little bit of their levels. You don't typically have to max out the levels. You could also go the other direction and max out the levels and not do the moves, but I think the cost of that is probably not in your favor. I've never really done the math on that. But as part of investing your resources into improving him, along the way, ooh, that's nice. I haven't actually gone through here yet, so you can get some shards there, and that's I'm glad that even though Black isn't part of the WWE anymore, you still got a shot at actually getting him because he's a pretty slick zombie. What I was hoping I could show in here is that you get some return on your investment in terms of as you complete tiers of the solo comp. So the solo competition, so there's no actual coin in here, which is okay. Oh, and you get a skill plate at the end, which is also typical. I'm acting all shocked, but that's actually pretty typical. Anyway, so you don't get anything there, but you will collect points that contribute back to your solo comp by building him up. And then in the solo comp, you will see that there is at different milestones there is coin that you get back. Ooh, look at that, 8,000 coin. Isn't that impressive? But anyway, yeah, the higher you go, the more coin you get back. So some of the coin that you're investing into that wrestler gets kicked back to you along the way, right? Here's almost 1 million coin for getting to that tier, and just as you go along, just more and more coin coming back to you, right? So the coin that you invest into him gives you solo points for the milestone, the solo comp for the month, and then you get coin back. How much coin? I want to say I saw somewhere was when you get to the very end, it's like 24 million. We'll go back through that just to check. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come in here frequently, and you're going to want to see what all of the tasks are, because these tasks change. The tasks are usually on a week-by-week basis, but I would make a habit of every time there's a reset, which is like at 5 Pacific time in the afternoon. Every time that reset happens, just pop in here and just make sure that they didn't flash a task in here kind of unexpectedly. But, do as many of these tasks as you can accomplish, and that's going to contribute towards the solo competition as well. You're also going to be collecting these turnbuckles throughout the month, and you're going to want to, whether you like using perks or not, like if you have a personal issue against the purity of using perks in the game, if you're going after the month-long character, you're gonna want to buy perks. You're going to want to spend your turnbuckles, because those turnbuckles are going to turn into points for the contest. So if you haven't done perks in the past, strongly recommend you do perks. Hey, Queen. Flipping platforms. Everybody's switching back and forth. So if you haven't done perks in the past, I strongly recommend you do perks this month if you're chasing the character. You can choose to start doing perks now. I would advise, if you can, to hold off. Might as well get credit for spending the coin in the coin and Evo contests to build your perks, as opposed to now. If you're going to spend coin now, think about spending it on people that you want to position for the talent up, which we'll go into here pretty soon. Because every coin that you spend in the talent up on boosting talent will give you points towards the talent up. So like I said, we'll get into that some more here in a minute. We have the Kickoff Blitz faction contest going on now. This is going to be one of the areas that we really should maybe, as this is where us as a team, as a faction, can really help everyone that's in this chase, because there are going to be typically, so we're getting faction contribution, right? We're getting faction points, faction points, faction points, right? So all of those faction points are going to go into the month-long faction contest, and then there will be rewards in the month-long faction contest that will contribute to everyone's solo contest. So everything kind of interlinks together. So the Blitz itself is not going to give you any solo points, but us doing well in the Blitz as a group is going to make the faction total much, much larger and hit those faction milestones, and then those faction milestones will turn into points for the solo comp. So we'll go in here and we'll look at the, let's see, where is the faction contest? We'll pop in here and take a look. Dun, 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 dun. Just kick off talent up. All right, so we're already starting to make some progress in the faction contest, which is usually comes in pretty fast at the beginning. Gets harder as you go along as the milestones get larger. But there you go. See, right there, 1,090 points towards the solo comp. So that's the kind of stuff we really want to maybe be trying to put a little more emphasis on this time around than we normally do, because that's going to help everybody that's in pursuit of this. And you can see in the faction that we have tasks to accomplish as well, right? So we've got 7 days roughly to knock out these two right here. So increase the talent of technicians, and then Kevin Owens, bite. So us knocking these out again helps towards that goal. And this increasing the talent of technicians will come into play here in a moment as well. As a matter of fact, I'll talk about that now. Let me back up to the solo competition. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, because I just claimed those rewards. There we go. Woo! All right. So now, other area to take a look at in this solo contest. The superstars that are featured in here right now are going to be featured in the game for the next 4 weeks, right? So if you are considering who to possibly work on in this competition, now is the time to think about some of these people that are in here. The ones that have the gold are going to be, in my impression, is they're more strongly featured. And not only are they more strongly featured, but they also tend to get bonuses for the month, right? So Kevin Owens is going to get a 75% black gem damage for the rest of the month. I think that one is 75% boost to yellow move damage, even though it doesn't quite look right. Getting 3 extra blast gems, right? Extra 2 move charge to all moves at the beginning of the match. Same thing for Finn Balor. So where this is going to come in is if we go back up to the blog and we take a look at the conversation about this particular contest, you'll see, whoa, you will see, let's go. Limited time tours. Yes, Scopely language, exactly. So, limited time tours. So our very first tours that are coming out, men's division and technician. So, if you know that, and then you're over here trying to decide who to work on, and you know that as part of the solo competition, there's superstars, and one of those superstars happens to be, well, 2 of them happen to be Seth and Finn Balor, who happen to be men, at least last I checked, which I don't check often, but And then also they are technicians. So good chance that they are going to be featured contest wrestlers for those first 2 tours. So we saw that as part of the faction event, we get credit for increasing the power of technicians. So if we're getting a bonus for the power of technicians for the week, it would make sense that if you're going to apply coin and TP to anyone, maybe you should think about working on Seth if you've got him, Finn Balor if you got him, because you're probably going to want to try to get deep in those tours. Now, hopefully, Scopely's done this in the past and it really sucked. Hopefully it's not going to be the case this time. But what... that's his... Never mind, that's his tour. That's the one I want. So here's men's division. Okay, cool. So one of the things they had done in the past is they actually put a timer on the contest, and that sucked. Oh, look at that. I should have come in here instead of blabbing my mouth off, right? So so Kevin Owens is actually, for this one, is going to be the one you want to focus on building for the men's division. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's take a look here. So the technician one will probably be yeah. So Kevin Owens, or if you have Roman Reigns, a couple days, right? Most of the week, actually, I think, typically. So let me flip back to the talent up. All right, back to the talent up. So yeah, talent up's on for the next 4 days. So think about investing in anybody that you saw on the list. yeah, just clicking all over the place. I'm freestyling, man. I didn't come in with any like set structure. I was just gonna go all over the place and just talk about whatever popped into my head, right? So anyway, yeah, think about, while the talent up is going, if you need to invest any coin or TP into the talent up, think about putting it towards these people that you're seeing here with these gold borders around them, because they are going to come into play probably more than once throughout the month. So what's up, Vicky? So anyway, yeah, these people with the gold borders around them, you're gonna need to use them this month. You're gonna get extra perks and bonuses for using them this month. So if you need to invest coin and TP into anybody while the talent up is going, think about doing it for these people, because you're going to need them. And ultimately, the goal is, one, to actually get to the Hell Tour on any of the limited time tours. And then once you're there, be able to beat all of the nodes in that last tour. In the past, that has been able to be accomplished with props and perks and all that kind of stuff. You could usually get by with maybe having them be about 12 or 13,000 talent would be enough to feel pretty comfortable you were going to be able to knock it out. I just want to make sure they didn't raise the bar. Other than the fact that he is an absolute beast, they didn't raise the bar. So that's the same talent level they've been in the past. So they didn't really raise the bar there, though Randy Orton is a colossal pain in the ass. And really, sometimes Scopely can be at least a little bit generous in which move set they actually put on them. So they don't always necessarily do the most horrible and nasty moveset they could have done. So when you see that 17,500 talent and it's a tier 1 wrestler, that might seem a little, hey, what's going on, Adam? That might, Snuffy. It's not about snuff, man. Anyway, yeah, so, Randy Orton, that's an intimidating tier 1 talent there. Hopefully, I can't see his moveset right now because I haven't actually got to that node yet. But hopefully when we have to get there and actually beat him with Bite Kevin Owens, Hopefully a 12 or 13K talent on him will be good enough. Yeah, and then usually the case is there's going to be two to choose from, and there's going to be one that's better than the other. So, in this case, probably Roman Reigns, you'd have an easier time beating him than you would with Bite Owns Bite. But that it's all right, man. It's okay. Anyway, you'd probably have a better time beating him with Roman Reigns there, but it doesn't mean you can't do it with Kevin Owens. But that's why, yesterday I talked about loading up on some of those props, right? Some of the props in the shirt store. Because when you get to this and you got to win, if it's Randy Orton with his every single damn turn he's making black gems, those props aren't really going to help you a whole hell of a lot. But hopefully Scopely was nice and didn't give him the most brutal moveset they could have. But the only way to know is to actually get there. All right. So that's that. So now we're going to talk about, actually talk about the talent up, which is probably what most people right now are most interested in. So, talent up. So good news. They didn't make the scoring harder than last time. That's really good news. Second piece of really good news is they actually got more generous with the number of solo comp points that they're giving out in the kickoff talent up. So this number that you see right here, 21,185, is way bigger than it was last time. So that's pretty awesome. And it also means that somewhere in here I probably did my math wrong because I came out with 20,335. So I probably screwed up somewhere in there. And I think that's what that is, right? That's your solo comp points, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I did my math wrong, but regardless, you're getting more generous amount than you were the time before. I think the previous contest was around 12,000 solo points, so that that had me sweating a little bit. But in this particular case, it's a little bit more, so that's great. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to flip screens. And I'm going to show you something else. Yeah, been saving for this. Okay, so I am going to pull up. Let's see where it is. Right there. All right. So here we go. Max milestone is 150 million points. So what I have here in this part, in this top center, which is really all you got to pay attention to. The bottom part is just me comparing the 2 months to see if they changed anything, which they have not. And then over here is to check and see if they changed the scoring system, which they have not. This one down here is actually one where I punch in what I have ready to go, and then it spits out how many points that is. I have not updated this since last month. I don't have 401 million possible points to go. I don't know what I do have, but I know it's not that. And then this stuff, so that's all of that stuff that you can see there. Now, the one of these that I don't know for sure is right, as a matter of fact, I know for sure it's not, is this 5-star silver to 5-star gold. And the reason why I don't know now how many points that is because I've never taken anybody from 5-star silver to 5-star gold. So I don't know what the talent bump is from 5-star silver to 5-star gold. I suspect it's a big enough bump that it would take less of those to max out the competition than any of these other levels. So all this is basically telling you is if you take a 2-star bronze to 2-star silver, that's probably going to be around 700,000 points for you, right? And if you take 3-star gold to 4-star bronze, right, these big jumps from a 3 to a 4 or a 4 to a 5, you get some big jumps there, right? So everything above 3-star gold to 4-star bronze, you're getting a lot of points for those. So I don't know necessarily what you have on your roster to boost, but this kind of, take note of this sort of system here of like, if you are short a particular milestone and you're trying to figure out how you get to that milestone, keep those in mind. Another big one to keep in mind is that you get 900 points for every 1 point of talent you take a wrestler on your roster, and you get 1,800 additional points for every point of talent you do on the new Zombie Drew McIntyre. So those two combined, every 1,000 talent you take Drew McIntyre up is going to give you 2.7 million points. So how high do you want to go? And the answer to that is you let me get this on the screen. Okay. I need to move. Oh, somebody, I don't know who that is, but sounds like somebody followed me. So thanks for the follow. Let me figure out how to shrink this down maybe a little bit. Oh, that shrunk it down a lot. You can't even see it on the screen. Oh, good grief. Okay. Hold on. Let me move this over. Make a copy and paste it over here. All right. Let's move it. I'm going to move it even further. Let's do it over here. There we go. Actually, let me grab more. Okay. That was way more complicated than it needed to be. Good grief. Anyway, so just FYI, we'll know more later in the competition, but this is what I suspect we're going to need to finish out all the Coin and Evo events and all the TP events using just Coin and TP, no evolves or enhances or anything like that. Assuming that they use the same coin requirements they used last month, they've already shown they're using the same TP requirements. So we're looking at about 35,000 TP and about 201 million coin. And what's going on, Billy Rice? So that's what I'm projecting that you're going to need to max those out. We won't know until they actually start releasing the Coin and Evo contests and showing what the requirements are. But that's kind of what I'm guessing it's going to be. So figure on probably realistically getting somewhere between 30 million and 60 million in extra coin throughout the month. So if you think about where you're at now and where that would put you to have the extra coin. Lukey, hungover, sick as a dog. Sorry, that's a Rabido hangover, right? That's a Rabido hangover. All right, so here's the milestone levels for the talent up, and all of this stuff here is how many contest points you get, how many turnbuckles you get, shirts, tokens, shards, blah blah blah. These numbers over here, disregard all the 0.333s at the end, but that's a calculation that I do to sort of show where the biggest bang for the buck is. So yeah, sorry man, sorry brother. So the idea behind this is, if you cannot get to the top milestones, where are some landing spots where you get the most bang for your buck? So first off, I'd like to point out that your value for talent up, it's the same it was last month. when it comes to the month-long contest, your value for the amount of work you're putting in the talent up stops at 109,346,000. So if you can get to that score, that is the sweet spot for the talent up of getting the most contribution towards the month-long contest. Does that mean that you have to get there? No, it doesn't. If you don't have a lot of resources and you don't have a lot of people ready to go for the talent up, this spot right here is another reasonable spot. Just keep in mind that if you don't make it here, you're not getting the maximum amount of contest points you can for the month-long contest, right? So that 109 million, that's a point where if I'm gonna go ahead and max it out, but that's only because I've prepared to max it out for a while now, right? But if you don't have the stuff lined up and you're worried you're not going to have enough coins, so you don't want to spend coin during the talent up to boost this score, then pick a spot in here to stop. So that one's a good spot at 93 million. The spots you don't want to stop at are these ones with really high numbers, because that's basically a lot of effort not giving you a lot of return, right? So I generally would say if you can get to 109 million, that's golden. If you can get to 150 million, then good for you. You're not really helping yourself too much in the month-long contest, but you're getting a lot of other cool stuff. So get there if you can get there, and you can get there relatively easily. If you can't, try to get to 109 million. If that doesn't seem possible, then this 66.5 right here is a good spot. Yeah, I just wouldn't want you to stop on like this one here, which is 54 million, because that's like the least return on your effort possible. So I would just hate for that to be the place to stop. So areas to keep in mind if you're trying to look for a little extra juice on these is work on that new Drew McIntyre, because you're going to get 2.7 million in the talent up for every 1,000 talent you increase them. Take people that are really, really low in talent on your roster. Like, let's say you got lucky and you pulled somebody at a 4-star, bronze, silver, gold, but right now you haven't worked on them, so they're still 800 talent or whatever. Every coin and every TP you put into that person is going to really boost their talent really fast. So if you're taking them from level 1 to like level 70, that's not very much coin at all. And then if you're taking the moves up from like level 1 to level 5, that's not a lot of TP at all, right? So that's a way you can get a quick jump of like taking a wrestler from 800 talent to 5,000 talent really, really quickly with not a lot of coin and TP spend. So that's one of the things I tend to do is I'll leave people at the bottom of my roster as fodder or whatever for blitzes or for feuds as throwaway characters. And then if I get into an event like this and I'm falling short of my goal, then maybe I look at boosting each one. And you can kind of spread it out, right? So if you had like 5 low-level wrestlers, get them all up to 1,000 first, and then go back through and get them to 2,000, right? So don't just take one and focus on just one, because the higher you get their talent, the more coin and TP it costs, right? So you want to take each one, maybe bump them up to 1,000, see where you're at. You're like, no, that's not getting it done. Bump them up to 2,000, see where you're at. No, that's not getting it done. So just kind of stair step them like that. So back to this again. This is giving you an idea of how many points you get for each of these talent up levels, right? So that a 4-star silver to a 4-star gold is going to get you 11 million points, right? So if you are shooting for that 109 million and you're 11 million short, then maybe check and see if you have anybody that's 4-star silver that's not going to take a lot of coin and TP to get them ready to evolve or enhance. The goal is, though, is to try to make sure that you're going to have enough coin and TP for the rest of the month-long contest. So, fortunately, the TP that you spend today, there's already a TP contest going on, right? So you're already contributing to the very first TP contest right out the gate. So every TP that you spend during the talent up is also contributing to the TP contest. All right, that's cool. But yeah, the you can, you just look on your roster and maybe you have a couple of 3-star golds that are just a couple levels or moves short of being able to go to 4-star bronze, right? You do 2 of those and it's 14 million, right? You do some 3-star silvers to 3-star gold and get some points that way. But again, the idea is just to try to get as much of the try to hit those sweet spots in terms of the talent up competition. You're gonna max out all the contest points when you get to 109 million in the talent up. So, just be thinking about that as part of the strategy. I'm happy to work with anybody and everybody in my faction on Discord. If you're like, I'm X number of points short of my goal and this is my roster, I'm going to do what I can to help you out in that regard. So that's it for that part of the talent up. I wasn't going to make you guys, not going to make you guys actually watch me talent up my wrestlers because honestly, I haven't decided which ones I'm actually going to take up just yet. But the next thing I did want to talk about, and it does pertain to Drew McIntyre, is you don't have to spend money to get the Chase wrestler. But what I was going to say was, if you're okay spending money, I would start with this as a jump-off point, $30 for the month. So that is going to help you kind of get a kickstart in this contest. You get 5,000 contest points, right? You get some tokens. You'll get some stuff that you can use for your perks, and you'll get him at 3-star silver. Now, I have never done this before, but I am, because I knew this was coming, and I knew we were all going to be doing this together. So I have planned for doing this one just to basically try to help us get off on the right foot. If we do this again in the future, I'm not doing that again, but this is our maiden voyage together on this little journey. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's going to allow me to do the blitz at hell mode and help us as a faction. Yeah, exactly. So, that's going to really kick off that opening faction blitz contest to where we can, hopefully we can get to the top tier on that. We can get the maximum amount of faction points from that sucker, and really just trying to get all of this off on the right foot. Again, usually if I'm serious about doing a month-long contest, I'll do this one. Again, not necessary. I've completed month-long contests without it. But I'll do that one. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do this one. So just FYI that's going to be happening. I think that pretty much covers everything. Oh, you know what? There's one thing I just thought of. Let me flip back to my sheet here. Where to go? Boom. All right. Can you even see it? No, you can't. All right. Copy. All right. similar to the talent up competition, there are sweet spots in the TP comp. So something that you can do, unless you're confident that you're going to be able to get a lot of TP this month. I mean, you'll get some from the shirt store, right? You'd be able to go out there and do some farming and grab some TP. And Adam, no, they don't. One of the number one contributing factors to your talent up score is the tokens that get spent. And when you use a fuse, you don't actually use any tokens. So you don't get as much credit for doing the fuses. And thank you for bringing that question up, by the way, because I did not do that yet. Okay, cool. No, I have not made my talent up moves yet. And welcome. Yeah, so think about how much TP you have now. Divide that number by 4. And then if you're confident you're going to be able to get some more TP along the way, you can bump that number up. But there's some sweet spots also when you're pumping into the TP contest, right? Like this spot right here, 51,999, which is, let's see, that's, see how much TP that is. That is 1,733 TP to spend this week. But you want to, if you don't have 35,000 TP banked, then don't try to max the TP contest. The value on this last level here is horrible. If you have enough TP, do it, right? Because you are going to get 1,200 contest points. But the jump from here to here and what you get in return, I mean, it's the worst. So really these two spots here, that's 1,700 TP for the week, and that's less. But those spots are kind of sweet spots for bang for the buck. So again, take the total number of TP you have across all colors, divide that sucker by 4. That gives you an idea how much you have in your budget to spend each week, and then see where in here you can get in this zone right here. If you can go higher, you're going to get more contest points, right? But what you don't want to do is you don't want to blow 8,700 TP in the first week and then run out of TP in the following weeks, right? You're much better off dividing that up and just getting to a certain milestone each week than you are basically just blowing the whole lot in 1 week and then you're out, right? Because there's going to be 4 weeks of these contests. There's going to be 3 more above and beyond the one we've got going on now. So if you've got the TP, by all means, right, throw it at your wrestlers. Anyway, to circle back around, Adam, to your question about the fuses. No, you don't get the credit in the talent up for the fuses. Where those fuses, if you can hold on to those fuses, where those will come in handy is when there is typically on a weekend, there'll be a faction contest, and that faction contest will have tied to it some kind of talent up. Like if you happen to remember from the feud that we had this past weekend, one of the ways that you could build your feud points as a faction was leveling up your 2s, your 3s, your 4s, your 5s. But it wasn't about increasing their talent. It was about taking them from, it was about evolving or enhancing or fusing. So if you can hold on to those fuses until we have an event like that, and then throw those fuses in there, that'll work. They've really weakened the amount of credit you get for the fuses also with the coin and Evo comps. So again, I would recommend not using fuses during the talent up. Hold on to those fuses, and then we'll get more bang for the buck if we can throw that at a faction event later on down the road. Shards, using shards to increase the talent of your wrestlers right now, great idea. You're getting 900 points of talent up credit for every 1 point of leveling up you do. So by all means, consider throwing those shards that you have at people right now. Sometimes I'll evolve or enhance a particular wrestler during the talent up just because I know I've got a ton of shards for them, so I can then use the shards after they've gone up to the next star level to go ahead and fill up all their moves again. And then something that I was going to mention as a tip also, if you're increasing the talent of your people for the talent up competition, just a little tip, because I know some people, I didn't know this a while back, but always, anytime you're going to use TP on a move or shards on a move during a talent up, move the move up to your equipped moves. You do not get credit for applying TP or shards to a move that is not equipped, right? So equip them, level them up, take them down, put the other moves in, and then increase the level on that, so that every point of talent that you so that you can milk every last talent point you possibly can. But yeah, okay, cool. I haven't done any of them yet, quite frankly, because I haven't completely decided who I've got a bunch to go. So I'm gonna do the zombies for sure, because they're gonna obviously come in handy this month. But I've got some other people that I just haven't decided who I'm gonna take up, because I know Adam, and I think all of us at some point didn't know that, right? So but yeah, that's just one of those little tips that'll help you with those talent ups, is just move those moves into that equip section before you level them up. Otherwise, you don't get credit for the talent. But anyway, I've got a lot of people to go up to the next level, and so I just got to decide which mix and match of all the ones I have I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do zombies for sure. I'm gonna do trainers and coaches that help make those zombies stronger. So I'm going to do those for sure. And then some of these other ones, I'm just going to bank them and save them for the next talent up next month, or any other month that I decide that I'm going to go ahead and do that. One of the things I can do right now is that you can see that the last month-long contest, I was able to max that contest out pretty much by the skin of my teeth. I only had 577 points past the 500K for the milestone. So that was a little harrowing. It turned out later that I didn't have anything to worry about, because there was like another 8,000 points that we got as a faction in that last hour before the contest expired. But anyway, yeah. So recruited, and I don't know about y'all, but if you faced him in those tours or whatever, from a defense perspective, he is a pain in the butt with those freaking freeze gems. So anyway, yeah. So there's that. Hey Jake, what's going on, man? You have great timing. I've pretty much have gone through everything already, but I'll definitely have the recording posted up there for everyone to take a look at when they're interested. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I will try just about every day. If there's something worth showing, I'll try to hop on and do something for you guys to take a look at. I'd be happy if anybody has any questions. If they want, I would be happy to take them and try to answer them if I can. Awkward silence. Awkward silence. Thanks, Lukey. I'll catch you. Yes, and work on the zombies that are featured in the solo contest. If you have them, work on the ones that got these gold boxes around them, because the ones with the gold boxes that are in here in the solo contest, if you have these people, they are likely to be featured more than one time during the month in one contest or another. So, again, if you want to have a shot at beating the boss in hell in the past, typically 12 or 13K talent on those is where you want to be. And then you might need, even at that level, you're probably going to need some props as well. Yes. Yes, Queen, I lucked out. The game is not forcing me to work on a Cena. So every time Scopely sent a feedback form in the game, I filled it out and said, "Don't make me work on a Cena." So I think that effort on my part has bared fruit. That they're not making me work on a Cena. And I guess I'll stay on for what is okay. So I'm trying to think. That's probably a good idea. I can't remember where. Let's try it. Let's go in here and let's take a look at where around 12K talent kind of sits in terms of star level. Yeah, so a 4-star silver would probably get it done. If you have a tier 1 wrestler, that can be used in one of those contests, you might not need him as strong. But the people like Zombie KO that are more of just kind of an okay or average wrestler, to beat the boss in hell mode, even with props, you're probably going to need. Oh, and another thing I didn't talk about is if you have any in-game cash, save that till the end of when you're getting close to the end of the month and you're already maxed out on your perks and you already got your contest wrestlers boosted as high as you can go. And if you're still struggling with beating that hell mode boss, you might need to spend some in-game cash to revive your wrestler after a pin. So occasionally that will come up and you're really freaking close to beating them and you just need that health boost to beat them. So I would, if you don't have a lot of in-game cash, I would just recommend you hold on to all that you have and that you then spend it at the end on those limited time tours that you just can't quite get those last bags on, as opposed to spending them on any of the they're gonna have loot pools for cash or whatever that come along. So you just want to make sure that if you're starting to collect small amounts of in-game cash throughout the game, that you just bank that stuff and use it kind of on an emergency basis to get those last few wins. Yeah, so anyway, like looking at my Steamboat here as a maxed out 4-star silver, that's 1,200 talent. That's probably enough to get it done with props on those last bosses in hell mode. And hopefully 1,200 is strong enough to do a 3-star win on all the hard mode limited time tours so that you can actually get and unlock hell mode if you're not at a high enough VIP level to just be allowed to get there already. Good question. So yeah, month-long contest. Solo comp is the name of the game. Be laser focused on turning over every rock and finding every single solo comp point you possibly can that you can accomplish. And then we'll, as a faction, hopefully we'll go strong and work together to really get our faction scores. We already do great as a faction in the faction contest to begin with, but if we can put a little extra something in the group as far as being able to work hard together as a team to get more of those points for those people that are chasing this month-long wrestler, hopefully we'll be able to get it done. I hope that everybody that's trying, I hope you all get them. And if we get close, I hope we figure out maybe what needs to happen to get us over the hump next time. But I'm looking forward to it, and I will be on as much as I possibly can, kind of walking you through what I'm doing for this day and that. But I appreciate everybody popping in, and I'll catch you next time. Adios.